Hello, book-friendly humans, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my January TBR. Now this is going to be like optimism in a stack of books. It's a lot of books. I'm likely not going to get through them all. And the more that I watch other videos and talk to people on Instagram, the more I realize that that's pretty normal. That you're going to have a huge stack of books and you're going to show people, here's my stack that I'm going to read. And then it completely evolves and changes. So I'm going to show you what I intend to read and then we're going to see how that goes. The first book on my stack is this one here. I'm excited about this book, Blood and Honey. Now I read Serpent and Dove this month and it was a solid read. I'd give it like 3.75 stars. It wasn't my favorite in the world, but I'm invested. I have to know what happens. So I'm interested in what this is going to bring to the table because there is so much conflict at the end of the second book. Like there's two worlds that are like fighting against each other and then these two humans that are going to somehow make it all better. So I'm really interested to see how that's going to resolve. So this is book number 1 in my TBR for January. Now book number 2 is an optimistic bet. It is the start of a new series. So The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. So I have read quite a bit of Holly Black before I was interested in following any kind of bookish content, and I really loved The Coldest Girl in Cold Town. I thought that was so much fun. I really enjoyed the characters and the journey that the main character took, like I said in my previous video. So I'm excited to read more of Holly Black's work. I also read The Darkest Something in the Forest. You'll know what I mean if you're familiar with Holly Black. But I have that one on audiobook and I listened to that one and I really enjoyed that one too. Her method of storytelling isn't perfection, like the people are really flawed, and so it feels more real to me that her characters have more of a spectrum of good, evil, and all of the things in between, so I'm excited to get into this one. I've heard that people either love it or they hate it, and for me, I'm just the type of person that's just interested in stories in general, so even if I read through it and I don't end up loving it, I'm going to just be happy with the fact that I took in another story. The next one on my list is Crooked Kingdom by Lee Bordeaux. I'm excited for this one because I finished Six of Crows earlier in this month, which is December, and it left on a cliffhanger and I want to know what happens, and I've heard multiple people state that the second book is better than the first one, so I'm really interested to get back to these characters and see where this story goes and just take it all in. So these books I found too, they're really dense. The first book took me a little bit to get through. I needed to like focus more than I typically do for books that are like this, so I'm hoping that this one I can get through in decent timing, but I'm not going to rush it because, like I said in my previous video, I tend to rush too much through books and then I miss important parts, but I feel as though I don't really want to do that with this one, so it might take me a little longer. Maybe it's a good one to start off the month with so that it's done and over with, but you guys let me know, is this one a faster read than the first one? Let me know in the comments. The next one that's on my list is one that I hear people talk about all the time, and some people in the tier ranking videos have ranked this series as like one of the best of all time, and that is The Diviners by Libby Bray. Libba Bray, my bad. And I don't know much about this. I know that it's kind of like cultish and it's got witchcraft maybe. Maybe not. Yeah, the occult. Maybe not witchcraft, but supernatural powers. So I'm excited about this one. One of my favorite shows when I was a bit younger was Supernatural, and if it vibes kind of supernatural but like girl power at the same time, I'm really interested to see what this holds. So this one I definitely want to get to in January. I keep putting it off and I don't want to do that anymore. I just want to get into it. The next one on my list is The Queens Gambit by Walter Tevis. I really loved this TV series. It was so much fun. The characters were so well developed, especially her. She was fantastic. So it's not a very long book at all. This will be a nice, easy read for me. So I'm really excited to get to this one and see how much the book differs from the actual TV show. Next on my list, I really want to get into Shadow and Bone. Again, there's a lot of people that have like mixed feelings about this series, and that's totally cool, but I know that there is a Netflix adaptation coming in the new year, and I would like to get through the books before I attempt to before I attempt to watch the Netflix show, because I like having the information in my mind before going into the show. A lot of those book to movie or book to show adaptations, they miss so much, so I feel like I want to understand the world first before going into the show, and I love those kinds of shows. Like The Witcher was fantastic, but I never read those books, so I feel like there's a lot that I'm missing out on, so I don't want to make that mistake with this story. The next book that I want to get to is Throne of Glass. Now, I've been loving Sarah J. Maas. She is like a guilty pleasure kind of read. It's fun, it's a little bit romantic, it's really risque. And from what I understand with this series, the first couple books are okay, and then as you go into the series, it gets more adult and it gets more gritty, and I'm excited to see what that looks like. I also really think that the premise of this book is cool. From what I understand, she's like a slave or a prisoner, and she has to earn her freedom back. And I feel like a story like that has potential to just explode. So I am really looking forward to getting into this world, and I know that I enjoy her writing style, so I'm excited about opening this book. Next on my list is a book that Instagram made me buy. I'm not going to deny it. I was heavily influenced, and that is Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. And I think that this book is beautiful, first of all. It's just like dark and wicked looking, and I like the idea that she summons some demon and they're going on a quest together. It sounds fun, so I'm gonna definitely jump into this one in the new year. Let me know in the comments below if you've read it and what you think about this one. Second last book on my list is Ready Player 2 by Ernest Cline. Again, I think that I've talked about this book before. I know that people have really mixed feelings about this, and they just don't think it was necessary. They think that it was kind of a money grab, from what I've understood from some people, because Ready Player One could have completely been a standalone. I really enjoyed Ready Player One, and it was not a typical read for me. I wouldn't have picked that off the shelf and been like, yeah, I'm gonna try this one, because it has to do with like video games and the gaming universe, and I just don't really do any of that in my life, so it was a surprise to me that I really enjoyed it, but I was super invested in it. So I'm excited to read about those characters again and see what they're up to. I feel like this book is going to be different than the first one. Obviously, the characters have come into a lot of money, they're now famous, I want to know what happens. And I'm not gonna weigh too much weight onto this book. I'm gonna just let it be what it is, and I hope to just enjoy the story of this book. So I'm not setting any high expectations for it. I just want to know what it is, really. So stay tuned to see what I think about how this goes. Last but not least, I have had this bad boy sitting on my shelf for a little while now, and I have been slowly making my way through the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. So I've been making my way through some pretty thick books, thick for me at least, and I haven't picked this one up because I want to get through all of those books first. But I really want to get to this one in January because, again, I really love Sarah J. Maas's writing style. Crescent City is the beginning of a new series, and I like the idea that I have to wait for it. And I know a lot of people don't like that, but I like being excited about a new book release. Like, for example, when the Harry Potter books were coming out, written by She Who Must Not Be Named, I was the same age as the characters as the books were coming out, almost every single book, and it was thrilling. I remember waiting in line for the books. I remember being so excited about the next one and the next story and what was going to happen to this cast of characters, and I like coming into a new series that way. So I guess with this one I've got somewhat high expectations because I want to enjoy it. I want to have that feeling again with a series. If you guys have any series like that, let me know what they are. Like some newer series that just kind of started and you are obsessed with the first book, but the next ones haven't come out yet. I want that thrill, okay? So let me know what your favorite ones are because I would love to know. But I'm excited to get to this one. I I'm obsessed with the cover of this one. This is a beautiful freaking book. Like, if you look on the inside, like the artwork it's just stunning. I want to carry this around with me. I want to hold it to my chest and take it everywhere I go. So I'm excited to get to this one. Let me know if you read it, what you guys thought. So there it is, guys. That's 10 whole books. That's 10 books that aren't just like petite little books. Those are some girthy, huge, massive books, at least for me. I am still getting used to the idea of reading many books throughout the month. I really love the challenge, and especially through COVID right now, it's nice to have something to look forward to, something to do, really, with my province maybe going into full lockdown again, which is really not ideal, but it's to keep people safe. It's nice to have something to look forward to. So that's that, guys. I hope that you enjoyed my January TBR. If you have anything to say about the books that I've chosen or how to be effective in reading this many books a month for a newbie, let me know. I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying my content or if you're just enjoying being here on the page with me. And I am so excited to see you again next week. It seems that I am able to post one video a week, and I'm typically posting them on Wednesdays. So I think that's what I'm going to strive for. I have the goal of posting on Wednesdays for the next foreseeable future. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a lovely day. Thanks for coming. Mwah!